Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dicebreaker podcast with your temporary host, Michael Wheels Whelan, because Matt is off sick.
Matt has been usurped.
He has. When I say off sick, I mean he has been killed in single combat, and I have taken his throne.
Oh, I see. Wow.
No.
Which constitutes as a sick day in modern times. But yeah, no, we're back for episode 76, the Dicebreaker podcast. I'm joined, as ever, by two members of the team. It's a big old shout to Alex Meehan. How you doing, Meehan?
Hi, I'm here. Like that little bit of mold on your wall that you can't get rid of. Just lurking.
That's how I always describe you to new people. Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I'm always there, old reliable.
And we've also, of course, got Olivia Kennedy. How you doing, Liv?
Hello, I'm doing good, thank you.
From the
Nice
studio, it looks like.
I am.
Liv is in the shadow realm.
Yeah.
Which is all white for some reason.
Yeah,
that's the joke.
I'm in the void, yeah. This is the thing. I was in the middle of filming a video and then I did tip back into the void, and now I'm just kind of
floating.
Just floating around in here. So
I will say, the great thing about having Liv in the studio is it means that if we say something funny, Meehan, we can then go, that's great. Back to you in the studio, Liv.
That was good.
We're filming on location. What are you doing? Get out.
On location.
He's such a criminal. Whenever we're trying to film something, whenever we're live, he's such a criminal. He needs to go back to gay baby jail.
He's a smooth criminal.
So smooth,
He's
so slinky.
Soft. I don't know about smooth. But here we are back in the Dicebreaker podcast. If this is your first time here, this is our live recording that we do every Friday, and then we post it on Monday on all sorts of platforms, wherever you get your podcasts. You know, Spotify and Apple and all the things.
But we're lurking in there.
Yeah, we're lurking around.
We're there.
Google Podcasts, your RSS feed, whatever you like. We are creeping around, making weird comments about things that are loosely related to board games. And that's the kind of thing that we're going with today, because, as ever, we have a fun little feature coming up. I won't tell you what it is, but just to tease it, I don't know if anyone saw the casting for the Mario movie recently. But that might have something to do with it, just to tease you back in if you were thinking about falling off. Sorry,
it is a federal crime.
I don't understand.
To be fair, I think it's 90% fine.
No, it's 90% fine. We all know who the problem is.
Yeah.
Why is Danny DeVito not Mario?
It boggles the mind. It really does.
Yes. I mean, I know we are very biased.
I don't know what you're talking about. Look, Danny DeVito put the D and D in D&D. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's an important person in this entire gamersphere. You know.
I mean, Bob Hoskins has passed away. The original Mario.
Right.
Noted for his famous line, "Luigi, we're the aliens."
You did a very good Bob Hoskins.
Thank you.
Accent. Yeah, as the man who, on the set of the original Mario Brothers film, spent most of it drunk.
Well, he had to get through it somehow, didn't he?
Yeah, he has to get through it somehow, and also at one point had his arm broken. There was a car chase scene, and you can see the moment they kept that clip in. You can see the moment where his arm is broken. Very professional. Maybe he was so drunk that he just couldn't.
Maybe he was numb.
That's commitment to the stunt act, you know.
Really is. My favorite tweet that I've seen so far about the casting was from Erica Ishii, who just wrote, "It's a joke."
It's a joke. It's gotta be. Adam does say the original Mario was Lou Albano, who was in the Super Mario show, which you might have seen in memes.
But we're talking about movies here.
Movie Mario.
Movie Marios.
Movie magic Mario.
Seeing as Bob Hoskins is no longer with us. Danny DeVito, God rest his soul. Danny DeVito is the perfect Like, he was born to play this role.
I can't think of anyone better suited to take over, honestly.
Yeah, especially as Luigi is being played by
Charlie Day.
Yeah, who was in Always Sunny in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia co-star. It's meant
Always
to be.
Sunny.
It really was, and now we find ourselves in this horrible cursed timeline in which Chris Pratt has taken the role, and it's not great, but it's also got nothing to do with board games. So let's we've said our piece. We all had something to say about it.
It was Danny DeVito related, which
which makes it Dicebreaker related.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just a big old welcome back to everyone on the podcast. If you've not watched one of these before, we record them live, and we have a sort of general running order that we try to stick to. Doesn't always work, but we usually open up the show, apart from, our little introductory chat, but we'll talk about the games that we've been playing and the stuff that we've been doing over the past week. So I'm going to open this one up with Liv, because
I felt like it was coming to me.
Big fat list of things.
I do. I know. Yeah, I should never write them out, because then they can be I can be singled out. Yeah, cool. What have I done this week? Well, Meehan and I played a cheeky little bit of Codenames Duet, which you can find on the channel. Yeah. I would link it, but I can't do that. We're live. But that was fun.
Perhaps one of the greatest endings to anything ever created.
It is like the first time. No, actually, it's not the first time, because there was also that one where we asked Liv to subscribe to everything.
Oh, right,
that was also quite funny. But
there was that. Mm-hmm.
It's the second time that we've ever posted like the outro of the video as the clip that we sell the video with, because it is quite something.
It's astonishing. Yeah.
It just kind of, it was organic. It was beautiful moment. I learned how to do about 5 new things in Premiere Pro. It was a good time.
As a little tease, I will say, I did spend part of that afternoon working next to someone who was just playing explosion noises on their laptop multiple times.
And that was before I figured out how to use my headphones. So
I will say, at some point, like, I was in the office and like more people are starting to come in now, and I was like, Liv, I think you are going to have to start wearing some headphones. And you're like, oh, I don't know how to get them working. And I was like, have you tried the headphone slot on your laptop?
It was hidden. It was so hidden away, Wheels. You can barely even see it. It's like, oh, where is it? So, but yeah, no, it's very good ending. Very good video throughout.
Great video.
Yeah, would recommend.
Me and we are full spies now. The Dicebreaker spies.
It's happening. We're going to make a film.
What did you think about the game itself, though?
Oh yeah, the game. No, it's good. It's good. Like, I often find myself like trying to take OG Codenames and then rework it into like a 2-player format. So like having that just on hand, like a super simple way to just play with 2 players is really handy for me personally.
Yeah. I mean, it's Codenames. You can't really go wrong with Codenames, to be honest.
How many different versions of Codenames are there now? Because there are a lot. There's the original, there's Pictures, there's like Disney and Marvel, and any other ones. There's After Dark, there's Duet.
There's the big ones.
There's a lot of different Codenames going around now. Toto.
Very popular game.
It's a good game.
It's a formula that just works.
It's a fantastic game, to be fair, and I think that's why did it win our Uber Spiel? Was that the one? I can't remember now.
Yes, maybe.
Everyone remembers the Uber Spiel, right? One of the biggest podcast episodes we ever put out.
Yeah, it was the Dicebreaker Award for Excellence.
Yes,
sponsored by, I don't know. Yogurts.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Sponsored by yogurts.
Well, you weren't there for that episode. We talked about Muller
yogurts.
Muller yogurts in depth.
Okay.
Great.
In-depth discussion about Muller yogurts aside.
I
have played quite a few of the code names now, but they're all fantastic. But Liv, I'm gonna just let you crack on because it seems like you've been playing a lot of games this week.
Okay, fine. Yes, I will crack on. Sure. Well, it's been a while since I've been on the podcast, so it's nice to see everyone.
True.
Hello. Yeah, so I have a few things that I've been playing that I'm just going to mention in passing. One of them is Descent. I'm going to stop there. I've been playing Descent.
Yeah. We've spoken about Descent a lot on this podcast.
Fair enough,
yeah. Me and Matt haven't had the chance to discuss on the podcast, but now the opportunity is gone. It's good stuff, though. Expensive. Also, myself and my partner Chloe have been playing Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective a bunch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which box?
I was going to say we've been playing the Jack the Ripper one, but we haven't started the actual Jack the Ripper campaign yet because it's like slightly different. There's like 5 books that are all the Jack the Ripper arc, and then it's got like a bunch, like 5 extra books that are all single cases and stuff. But really good. So I mean, we've played like 3-4 of them. Some of them are just like, oh my god, that ending was so well resolved, and we feel like proper good detectives, and heck yeah. Then of course, the first time we tried to introduce it to Chloe's family, we were like, this is a really cool game that you should play with us. Yeah. It was a mess. It was just ridiculous. It was just like, literally, I don't want to give anything away, but Sherlock was like, because obviously at the end, because you are Sherlock's interns in this universe, and he's basically like, oh, hey, here's a case. Go, off you go then. And you're like, okay.
Sherlock is now a corporate fat cat.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
who is hiring interns to do his job for him.
Yeah, no pay. You get paid in exposure.
I mean, we joke, but like you do play as the Baker Street Irregulars. I'm pretty sure they don't have any kind of pension scheme. You know, like they're just orphan kids that he asks to do things for him. You know.
Yeah, literally, exactly. So yeah, he sends you off out. What was my point? Basically, he also goes off and he solves the case himself, and then you have to kind of see if you solved it with the same amount of leads or less than he did. You don't ever, because he uses about 2 leads and he's done. Stupid. Yeah, it's but yeah, so there was like this one where he was like, obviously you should have looked at the newspapers about 4 weeks back and seen that there was a thing that had gone missing. So obviously this case now is to do with that. And it was like, I'm trying to sell this game to my in-laws,
first one
basically.
Ever played. Sherlock, look at me.
Sherlock, please.
Look, you're really not helping. You're being a terrible wingman right now, Sherlock.
Holding him by the lapels, Sherlock.
Which one? Which Sherlock?
Which Sherlock?
Toto's being bad in the background. He keeps jumping up on the kitchen counters, which he's not allowed to do.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I thought you meant Zoe.
No, not Zoe. Zoe is allowed on the kitchen counters if she so wishes.
Okay, cool.
Which Sherlock would you grab the lapels of?
All of them. I don't discriminate.
All of them collectively, so that she can shower every iteration.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One for each different case you have to solve. So, but yeah, this is Benedict.
I won't say which box. I feel like that would spoil it a little bit too much. But there is a case in the Sherlock series where at the end Sherlock is like, "Oh yeah, I didn't go anywhere actually. I just read the newspapers and solved it with that." And it's just like, are you kidding? Are you having a laugh, Sherlock? I've been all around London.
Yeah.
My feet are knackered.
Yeah, they are bleeding, Sherlock.
Is that Sherlock's big D energy? He's just show it off.
So, and there's also like an opportunity. If you're struggling, they're like, go and see Sherlock, see what he thinks.
No, I won't.
I know. We try to avoid it every time, but like we get to the point where we're like, have we solved it? We'll go and see what Sherlock thinks. And then he's like, oh, have you tried doing this thing right at the start? And it's like, do you think the thing we did like at the start, Sherlock? The thing we did at the thanks. And then it's very frustrating.
So Liv.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched my review, but I did a review of the Baker Street Irregulars box, the green Sherlock box, which I think categorically is the best one they've ever done.
Okay.
And like mechanic that's not really new in board game sphere, but new to Sherlock that they introduced was like checkmark things. So if you go to Sherlock, there will be certain things where it's like, oh, tick letter L because you've learned this piece of information. So it can remember stuff you've done. So in the newest one, if you go back to Sherlock, it will be like, okay, yeah, here's the baby stuff. But if you've learned about L, you can ask him about this and he'll give you new advice.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, I honestly, Baker Street Irregulars is incredible. It's fantastic. I like have had a few fun cases in some of them, but none of them have slapped quite as hard as Baker Street. So I would very much recommend it. I've got it in the flat if you want to borrow it as well.
Oh, would love that. Yes, please.
The in the chat, the clot thickens.
The clot thickens.
Says
see
big
a doctor.
Detective energy.
Yes, that is definitely big detective energy. Yeah, definitely.
I enjoyed that.
I will move on super quick. I play in the Icewind Dale D&D campaign, and we have literally we've just come last night face to face with the big bad, like the big bad. Like,
is that
the one
the
that's
rhyme?
Yeah, pretty much. The Frost Maiden.
Not the rhyme then.
It's the rhyme of the Frost Maiden. So, but
what is a rhyme?
Yeah. It's ice, I think.
Okay, I'm googling it. Carry on.
Yeah, I thought it was like a song of some type, but
a rhyme scheme. Yeah, but it's like it's not a spoiler because she's on the front of the box of the book. It's a big owl lady.
Big owl thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a big owl lady. She's here. It's happening.
Face is...
What's wrong?
So okay, Google
Do you not
says,
like the rhyme?
No, I googled rhyme, and Google says the onset is the initial phonological unit of any word, e.g., C in cat, and the term rhyme refers to the string of letters that follow, usually a vowel and final consonants.
Oh, RIME is rhyme.
No, that's what I wrote.
Okay.
Apparently, there's more than one rhyme.
Oh, okay. Well, this is fascinating listening.
Yes.
Will's search on Google.
Nothing to do with me. So yeah, fighting the big bird lady now.
Fighting the big bird lady.
Yeah, that'll be next week. I'll see how that turns out. And finally, I'll say that I have started DMing for a bunch of my friends. We had like a regular D&D campaign, but we've fallen off because we've been a bit busy and stuff. But I've just kind of come up with a format where we get to play against like really high level monsters that you wouldn't normally get to fight and stuff. Like we played against a pit fiend, a leviathan, like stuff like that. Pit fiend being a big devil guy and leviathan being a big water beast. That's like a monstrosity. Just stuff you wouldn't normally see, and it allows you to kind of like hop in at a really high level as a player character. It's a really loose kind of setting, and it's just fun, and you get to hang out with your friends, and that's what I've been doing. Also, Wheels. Yes.
I was just going to say, Inside Silver says rhyme equals frost, apparently, according to the Merriam-Webster. So it's Frost of the Frost Maiden.
Yeah, Frosty Frost.
Sorry, you said also Wheels.
Also Wheels, I was just going to say that we were up to something earlier this week.
Yeah, that's very exciting. We went to scout out a new escape room for Dicebreaker, which has branding now, which is very exciting. So expect a fancy new thumbnail when you see that video pop up. But we are going back to our shenanigans inside of locked rooms and seeing if we can find our way out of them in record time. Spoilers, we probably won't.
When we were leaving, there was a door and I couldn't unlock the door. It was just a normal door. I couldn't open it. So don't laugh at me.
That was quite mean, to be honest, from the guy who was...
Right, it was.
He was like... He
roasting you.
We were like, oh, how do we open the door again? And he was like, see if you can work it out.
How dare you put me on the spot like this? But it turns out you have to...
Not in the escape room mindset yet, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm in my sludge brain mindset, which I'm always in, usually. But yeah, I opened the door eventually. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Orangafor suggests that we find brand new escape rooms so that we can just set the first time on them.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make our own escape rooms. Yeah. Can we make our own escape rooms somehow, Wheels? We could do that, right?
I mean, Do you mean for a video?
Yeah.
I
don't know how it would work.
Yeah, I don't know how it would work either, but
like it's a possibility, right?
Let's put it on a piece of paper somewhere, like.
What you do is you make it for the public, and then you go roll up, come and try the Dicebreaker escape room.
Yeah, but you must subscribe.
Then we have to talk to the public.
That's true.
I don't know if you've ever done a public service job, but not public servant. That's not what I mean. Serving the public job, like I used to work in a gym. That wasn't very fun.
Yeah, I've done retail and catering. I've done the worst.
Yeah.
The worst. What's some
retail,
of the worst?
service
You'll
industry.
know more than anyone, then.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
When you don't make those sandwiches in time, people get real mad.
No, Nathaniel Levy, you're not the public. Dicebreaker fans aren't the public. They're a select club.
Oh. They're
it's like
babies.
What's it called in Sherlock? The Diogenes Club or something like that?
Yeah, except you're the Dicogenes Club. That's
Dicogenes.
Dicogenes. Yep.
What else have we been playing, Liv?
Yeah. That's me done. I'm done.
Okay, beautiful. All right, man. Hit us up with your week of fun that you've been having. I assume.
Oh, it's. I don't know if fun is the word I'd use to describe most this week, but tabletop games were definitely involved. As Liv said, played Codenames Duet. We failed sometimes, but I don't want to spoil it too much, but Liv's doing things.
Sorry, Orangeful said that am I actually in an escape room now and I don't know it yet, so I was trying to be
I rate that.
Thank you.
The problem is you're not framed up in the same way you are on your side as you are on OBS.
I was very confused. I was like,
Apologies.
Liv trying to mess with my mind? Are you playing are you trying to freak me out? and then I'll be like, oh, Liv, what are you doing? And Will's just like, Liv's not doing anything.
Liv's been dead for 15 years.
That's classic. That's a classic Dicebreaker joke. I have been playing. So I went to Brighton's board game cafe, signature board game cafe, Dice Saloon. Which is
Love
nice.
Dice Saloon.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dice Saloon. We might be filming our new D&D show at Dice Saloon.
Yeah, very exciting. The perfect location to get inspiration. But I went there to play some games with my friends. And we played some classics. Oh my. Of course, Colt Express. We all love Colt Express.
Spill the Yaris winner, famously.
Yeah. Spill the Yaris
winner.
Not
Uberspiel the Yaris winner.
No, I was fighting for it. But, Colt Express is very good. If you don't know it, it's a game about the Wild West and being cowboys. Cow people.
More banditos than
banditos.
Cowboys.
Yeah, it's banditos. And you're robbing a train, but you're all rivals. You're not working together. And then it has this very interesting system that's kind of a little bit like coding, is the way I'd sort of describe it, in the way that everyone sort of plays cards on their turn, and it goes round in a circle. But you play one card at a time. So then when you actually get round to performing the actions on the card, you have to flip it over and then start from the one that was played first. So then people have to try and remember what they played and also what other people played. And it gets very chaotic very quickly because you're like, I swear, I wanted to move there and pick up this loot, but someone else already got it, so now I just do nothing. Or
not to mention you're go in a tunnel, which means everyone plays their cards face down, so you don't know what they're doing.
That's fun.
And there's a character called Ghost who can do that every turn.
Every turn with the first card every turn, which usually I play as Ghost because I really like that character.
He's
He reminds me of Charles P. McGinty. He looks like how I imagine Charles P. McGinty to look like my Deadlands character. But for the confusion. But no, I played as a different character this time. Belle, she's alright. She has this thing where other people become the priority if there's shooting or punching going on.
Shooting or punching.
However, it didn't quite work out for me most of the time because whenever there was shooting or punching going on, I was the only option. So that whole thing. At one point, I drew a hand of cards that was, apart from one, all bullet.
Wowzers.
Yeah, bullet cards you get when you're shot, and they basically don't do anything. So when you draw a bullet card, you're like, this is a waste of time.
It's like an injury, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. It's really good. Yeah, and we were playing with people who'd never played it before. And they picked it up really quickly. It is one of the games that initially sounds quite complicated. But actually, once you sort of get your head around the basics, it is pretty straightforward to play.
It's fantastic as well. And it comes with I feel like you buried the lead here, Meehan, again.
Sorry.
It comes with a 3D train.
Yeah, it comes with a 3D train.
Interesting.
You move around in.
Yeah, and little decorative bits like skulls and cacti.
So good.
And mountains and things like that. So it's
really,
really, really
you can
good.
ride a horse.
Yeah, I own it, and I do kind of want the expansions because that game is really good. On the surface, it feels like a game I wouldn't like because it requires like a lot of concentration, kind of have to pay attention. But I mean, a lot of the time I don't do very well in it, but I don't care because it's so fun.
You have fun.
It's so fun to kind of see things go wrong in a way that it's not really that bad if you're not amazing at it. But yeah, Colt Express was very good. Love Colt Express. We also played some Just One, which also won the Spill the Yard.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm trying to remember the designer.
I feel like there's a few Spill the Yard winners where it's like,
this is fine. I mean, it's not as bad as like Pictures, but it's not really hugely noteworthy compared to like other Spill the Yard winners. But Just One is a fun party game where there's someone who has to guess a word, and then everyone else has to write a word down on their little sheet adjacent to the word to try and help them guess it. But they can't have the same word as another person. So before everyone reveals their words to the person guessing, they have to check that they haven't written the same word or kind of word in the same family of words. So, for example, we had someone write ground and another person write underground. And we were like, that's too similar.
Yeah.
And then the person has to guess the words of the remaining clues.
Oh, so do they cancel out one? So if there's two grounds, they both get removed?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
got it.
Oh, cool, okay.
Yeah, so then the person guessing has to just use the remaining clues to try and guess the word. And it works, it is fun. But I will say I feel like there are other word games that do just a much better job at that sort of thing. It's fine for like a little bit, but it gets quite old quite quickly.
Yeah, it's mad how I will say it's quite surprising that word games as a genre do so well in general. Like obviously we were talking about codenames before, but I feel like there are so many word games and they all do like pretty well. You know,
I think they're just really accessible.
Yeah.
Everyone knows words.
I was going to say, yeah.
Everyone knows words, Wills.
I don't know.
People love them.
There's quite a few times I've found myself not knowing words.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like there are other party word games that are just, I would rather play, like Codenames or Decrypto, for example, which is a bit more sort of, what's the word? It requires a bit more attention than Just One. Just One is fine.
I'm imagining now, what if we played... You know how we do Codenames live? What if we did Just One, but all the audience is giving clues?
Oh, cool.
Manic, Will. That's manic.
But then the odds of your words getting cut out would be pretty high. So the only ones that are left are like these so tangential, like weird things that you have to then guess the word from.
Oh, we had a few fun ones. Yeah, there were a few that even when we had all the clues, there were 5 of us playing. So even when we had all 4 clues available, I think people were stretching a little bit too far. Because the point is that you try and pick words that you hope no one else is going to pick. And then obviously that means sometimes you can just stray too far from like the word that the person's trying to guess. So I guess, I mean, that's the main sort of draw of the game, but it is good. I do like it, but you know, maybe I don't know what else was on offer that year for the Spiel des Jahres, but
not much.
Okay. Cookie Cat 94 says, "Is it possible to end up with no clues?" Yeah, I imagine, and the person might just have to take a wild guess or nothing, or just give up. But yeah. And also we played. Yes, Wills.
I was just gonna say I can recommend something that's a bit better, but in a similar vein, which is Trapwords, which is great.
Oh, I've not played that.
Trapwords is another check game, but it's not Blood of Shavassal. But the idea is instead, it's the thing where you have to describe a word and the team has to guess it. But the other team have written down a number of trap words where if you say them, you instantly fail. So if you're trying to give the words like skyscraper, the other team will write down like glass, building. That
sounds so
clouds.
good.
Yeah, it's really fun. But
they've also play that.
It's got like a sort of dungeon theme because it's traps. So you have like each room will have like you have to say your entire clue in one breath, or you know like.
That's so good.
You have like boss battles and stuff. I love Trapwords. I never get to play it because every time I bring it around, people are like, "Oh, should we just play code names?" I'm like, "Oh, god damn it!"
Look, I love code names as much as the next person, but I played code names so many times.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So, but Trapwords sounds great. Wills, you have to bring it along sometime.
I will. Yeah, Trapwords is very good, and we will play it. Sorry, carry on, Meehan.
Yeah, the last game that we played was an old favourite. Betrayal.
Yeah.
It's a controversial one. I know not everyone's on board with it. It is broken. It is a mess.
How many of the scenarios in Betrayal do you think you have left to play that you haven't already
played? A lot. I've not played all of them. There's a lot of scenarios in Betrayal. A lot. I'm trying to remember exactly how many, but they can number in the 40s, is it? Or 50s?
That's just the original version, right?
That's just the core release. Then you also have Widow's Walk, which adds even more. And I still want to get Widow's Walk because arguably the haunts in Widow's Walk are just much better because they were like, we've got the groundwork here. Let's just do something really wild and silly. And also, they're written by just people, just writers. Like, they're not made by the designers. But, for those who might not know, Betrayal's a pretty popular game. It's a horror game where you explore a mansion, a spooky house, and you find these different rooms and spooky things happen to you. But then at some point, one person on in your group may become a traitor and starts working against you. Ooh. There are some haunts where there is no traitor. They are objectively rubbish.
My friends who didn't go to the same uni as me, but I knew like a group of people who went to the same uni, and they would play Betrayal all the time as like their go-to thing. And I think about 4 times in a row, they got the scenario where there's a bomb in the house and you just have to run out. And they were like, this sucks so much.
Right. So, for those people interested, there is actually a list on the Dicebreaker.com website of the best, worst, and weirdest Betrayal haunts. I went through all of them in the original game, not Widow's Walk. I might do one for Widow's Walk at some point, if Matt Jarvis lets me. And a lot of the best ones are just ones that really play around with the kind of concept of the game. That they aren't just ones where you're like, you've got to fight these giant rats.
I wouldn't say combat is one of the highlights of Betrayal.
No, combat is very boring for the most part and very random, but a lot of the game is random. If you don't like that, you will hate Betrayal. But the ones where you're just the trait is just controlling some monsters are boring. But the one that we played on last week was one that I had actually written about but not played myself.
Ooh.
Which is, I believe it's got a really good name. It's something like We're Going to Hell or something, or Let's Go to Hell or something like that. And I'm like, that's great. I was the traitor.
Nice.
That was random, by the way. I did not choose to be. However, the thing that kind of went really wrong with it was we were 3 haunt rolls in.
Oh no.
And my friend rolled 0 on one of the 3rd haunt roll. And we were like,
can be done.
What are the odds of that happening? I've never seen a haunt happen this early, by the way, ever. And because Betrayal is broken, it kind of meant that the haunt didn't work so well, because this one specifically, Let's Go to Hell, is the entire house is falling into hell.
I think I played that one.
I think it's called like Stare into the Abyss, but like the
sounds like
strap line. The strap
Mm.
line is something like Let's Go to Hell or something like that. But it's very good. But the idea of it is so good. Like there are basically the rooms in the mansion just start like falling into an abyss.
Yeah.
And you've got to flip them over. So like essentially that the entire house is slowly falling apart. So everyone has to like run up, because it starts in the basement. You have to run like up the floors of the house to try and escape it. And I think the heroes have to find some knowledge to kind of stop it or something. But because it started so early, we didn't have enough of the house for it to really work properly. So it started in the basement. I was in the basement, by the way. And I died within like 2 turns of it happening. But luckily when you die, it doesn't stop. It just keeps going. And so
did you end up winning?
I won, yeah, because essentially what happened was the basement was like 4 rooms. There was someone, actually something really funny happened. There was someone down there and they were like, I can't get out. Like I'm in trubs. And then one of the other survivors found the mystic elevator.
Oh wow.
Got down there in the mystic elevator and was like, okay, we're gonna go on your turn. But they didn't realize that. So the other person who was down there managed to find the stairs to get out. But the mystic elevator counts as one of the rooms in the basement. It's not outside of the house.
Right.
So when it came round to some of the rooms collapsing, the mystic elevator counted. So therefore that person who had gone down to save the other survivor died in the elevator.
No.
That's classic.
The other survivor's like, I'm sorry. Like,
that happens to me in Escape Curse of the Temple all the time, where it's like you run all the way across the map to unlock someone's dice, and then they start heading back with you, and then you get locked and they close the doors behind you. Task failed successfully, as Kiki Cat says.
Yeah. So that I mean, luckily enough, we were actually running out of time anyway to leave, because our table booking was running out. So it was kind of convenient that it just kind of happened very quickly. But there were obviously some of the survivors who were like, sort of grumbling a bit. And I was like, look,
me out.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny.
Like it's funny, but it was like if you're like, oh, let's sit down for a proper good game of Betrayal, it's like, oh. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I do look. The thing is, I have played enough Betrayal that you get the good times and the bad, and you just got to take it with a pinch of salt. That this is the way this game works, and obviously,
I was just going to ask you if you played Betrayal at Baldur's Gate.
I have once. I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I don't know anything about it, but I do know it's got Minsk and Boo references in it, and I think that's great.
Characters from Baldur's Gate, presumably.
Oh yeah.
I've not played Baldur's Gate, so
Baldur's Gate 2 is a cracking game. One of the greatest opening video game themes ever created. Like absolutely rip-roaring.
That's a big claim.
Like Halo levels, like it's fantastic. Boom, 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 boom. It's so good. And the funniest thing is like every single time you go back to the main menu, it starts it again from the start. So if you're like just gonna go in the settings and change something, boom, boom. Oh wait, boom, boom.
Yeah, I don't know. You've got a lot to compete with, like Elder Scrolls Oblivion. That slaps. That title screen.
I think Morrowind has the best Elder Scrolls theme, personally. I think Morrowind is the best of the bunch. Okay. I mean, they're all the same theme, just in different styles.
Yeah, different styles. And then the original Mass Effect title theme is, it slaps. Makes me cry every time I hear it.
Oh dear, that's not good. You just booted it up.
Yeah, I've got to
You do have a Mass Effect too, so I feel like you are fully locked in.
Yeah.
Look, every time it starts, I have to quickly go quick. Once this bit goes in, I'm going to start crying.
Hey, do you want to play some Mass Effect? Yeah, sure. Okay.
Quick.
Oh, cool. We've got like a playlist of like great video game themes. Oh, that's cool.
Amazing.
No, don't play Virgil. It will make me cry. But then the Mass Effect 2 one is okay. It's fine, but it's Suicide Mission, but like a softer version of the song Suicide Mission, which slaps, by the way. But anyway, we're getting off topic here wildly. Don't make me talk about Mass Effect.
No one did.
No one does.
You brought it up, and then you continued to talk about it.
Those are all the games I've played, Mr. Whelan.
Yes. I'm back on Arkham. Me and Zoe have started...
Edge of the Earth. Did you do Edge of the Earth?
No, Edge of the Earth, the player expansion is here, but not the scenario one.
Okay, not the campaign.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just like, for some reason, split into different releases, but...
I
know they're different boxes, but I don't know if they're releasing at different times for some reason. So we are playing Path to Carcosa, which is the second campaign, but I've seen a lot of people say is the best one that's come out so far. Like a lot of people who I know who play Arkham have been like, oh my god, I love Path to Carcosa. It's set around the King in Yellow, which is cool. Like the horrendous play that whoever watches it, they go like they lose their mind. It's Lovecraft. But the new characters we're playing as, I'm playing as Sefina Khazou, who is a painter. Who like she draws like 13 cards at the start of the game as a hand, and then you can put like events underneath her and play them like whenever you want. Like you have like a little bank of stuff that you can never get rid of, which is really cool. But Zoe is playing as the actress.
The actress
who is like the most dramatic person on earth.
I love
like her photo is like.
Yeah, she's in Eldritch Horror.
I was going to say, is she also in Eldritch? Yeah, I play her a lot
in Eldritch Horror. Yeah,
she's so good. But her unique skill is that because you have a class system in Arkham, so like you can be like a blue character, a red character, green character, whatever. She is none of them. And she can have any cards in her deck, but then she chooses a new role every round. So she's like, okay, I'm a red character this round, and it works like Keyforge. Yeah, so she changes roles. But it works like Keyforge, where you can only play the cards that match that color. It's really interesting, like even ones that you've played out in front of you. So yeah, it's really cool. I think Zoe is still trying to wrap her head around it, as am I. But it's like, oh god, how do we make this effective? But yeah, no, we've been having fun with that. We've only done the first scenario, but we did it on holiday, so it was good. But I'm also fresh out of rendering off our Let's Play of Dustbiters, which is a game that was produced by some devs that worked on some real indie darling video games, including Disc Room, Broforce, Nuclear Throne, Minute, like all of those like ones that you'd see in a Humble Bundle. Do you know what I mean? Like big names in the indie space. And a couple of the devs from that have got together to make a card game called Dustbiters. They sent us out a copy and we gave it a play, and it's very fun actually, Liv.
It's very good. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's really like goofy. Like it's one of those like, I think people who enjoy stuff like Exploding Kittens will get on with it. Like it's one of those ones where it's just like, screw it. But it's also not. It's not as like kind of random as those games. It's not just like I stop you doing this because I have a card in my hand. It's more like you've got 3 actions, use them wisely. The idea is you start off with 8 cards, and it's a 2-player game, and they're all in a line, and it's like a convoy, and it's literally Mad Max Fury Road, the card game, right? So you've got a big dust storm at the back that will eat whatever card is at the back at the end of each turn. And then each player controls some of the cards in the row, and it's all about pushing your enemy's cards to the back and blowing them up, and It's basically if you can get to a point where your enemy doesn't have any cards on the board, you win. So like you're just spending the whole game just ripping into each other, just absolutely blowing everything up.
Yeah, it's very cutthroat. Yeah,
it's super cutthroat. The artwork's fantastic. Yeah, man.
It looks so good.
It's got that sort of like, it reminds me of what's that? Wizards Duel for Mount Skull's Fire. You know, that kind of like almost like 70s comic book, like really like almost Rick and Morty-ish, I guess, like that kind of like splattery, slapsticky kind of vibe.
I thought it looked a little bit like oh my gosh, you know the DS game of Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yes.
I thought it looked a little bit like that, kind of, but more psychedelic.
Yeah, but it's also, it's got that Mad Max vibe as well, right? So it's like raiders from Fallout, you know, like it's like people with tires strapped to them and like flaming like cars that just shoot fire out of the back and like VW buggies with a huge spike on the front or whatever. And yeah, it's real fun, and it's like this big as well. It's like a perfect pod game. I was genuinely really impressed with it. I thought it would just be like, oh, this is all right, you know?
Yeah.
Because it had that kind of vibe of like just sort of the game that would be like, oh, this was big on Kickstarter because it's got some cool art. But I was kind of surprised by how much fun it was.
I mean, I was joking in the video that it's more complicated than chess, but it is quite
yeah, it's not. It's kind of, so basically like there's a whole deck of cards. Which they're all different cars, and they're called cars, but like one of them is a horse.
Yep.
It's a vehicle.
It's a vehicle, right? Yeah, they're vehicles.
It very explicitly says the horse is also, it counts as a car.
Yeah, there is a horse and there is a bike, but they are also cars. It says that in the rulebook. But the way that works is every single car is different, and they all have their own unique power. So you might have like a bog standard one where like you can activate this card to destroy whatever car's behind it. But you might have one like the grappling hook where you can like drag a car from somewhere else and put it there. Or in reverse, you might have the ramp truck where you can drive up and it will fling you to the front of the line and stuff like that.
You might have the bane of my life, the jammer, it will take whatever cars are next to it, it just takes away their powers.
Yeah, it just makes them blank. But it's all about, it's kind of, you know, it's almost like Magic the Gathering in the way that like each card effect, you're kind of trying to like combo them together in ways that are interesting. So it was like, you know, I had one where I had, I think I had like a car that would destroy whatever was in front of it, but I managed to get a grappling hook car which would pull cars behind it. So there was like this death machine where I could like drag things into the sandwich and destroy whatever in the middle. But because you only get 3 actions and you go back and forth, and every card is just so lethal, you're just like, you never have the same cards out in the same turn. It's like everything is just getting like smithereens blown out of them, and it's really good. It's really good. It's like
really good, yeah.
It's got that vibe of like, you know, a CCG where you're trying to combine card effects, but it's super lightweight and just like, yeah, I'll just do this. This looks fun. This looks stupid. Let's do it.
It sounds a little bit like oh my goodness, what's that pirate game? Libertalia. It's a little, it's sort of, I'm seeing it like Libertalia is out of print and it looks like it's never coming back into print.
So you're looking for alternatives.
Yeah, if you're looking for alternatives, maybe this sounds a little bit like that, in the sense that your cards are in a row and you're making sure that you want to be at the front of that row. And there are sort of naughty, mean tricks that you can play. But
do you know what it did remind me of? What was that game that we played with Matt Jarvis in the kitchen that one time?
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's Oriflamme.
Oriflamme, yes. It reminds me of Oriflamme, yeah, exactly that, where you've got this row of cards like that are all
Oriflamme,
interacting with each other in interesting ways. Yeah,
those are really good games, and I wish we saw more games like that.
It's just like a weird little like machine, and if you move things, then everything changes.
yeah,
it's good stuff. Yeah, so that was Dust Biters. That will be up on the channel tomorrow. So look out for that.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, we filmed it in the studio. We're finally doing more Let's Plays in the studio, which is great.
It's fun.
And last but not least, I went to the escape room with Liv. We had like a scout out. We're trying to find one that's spooky-esque.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's going to go out on Halloween, but there wasn't like an explicit horror one there. We're not going to say the name of them just in case, because I think they're talking about whether or not they're worried about spoilers and stuff like that, which I think is fair enough. But yeah, we're talking to a certain one in Brighton, which looks pretty cool. So we're hoping that we can do them. But they had like a mod and rockers vibe one, like 60s. They had like a sort of whatchamacallit, like a sort of heist one. They had one that was like Victorian, but then the one that we think we're probably going to go for is like a Fallout shelter, like the bombs are dropping kind of vibe.
Okay,
but the fun thing about
very
it,
spooky.
the fun thing about it is that there's a wall down the middle. So each player is going to... So Liv and Loli's, or however we do it, is going to be on either side of the wall, shouting through a little hole to each other, which I think is going to be very funny. Just like Loli's head just sticking through a hole, like, why are you doing that?
That would be good. I'm hyped to watch this.
Have to do
it.
I think... I was just going to say, I think I'm going to try out one of the escape rooms myself.
Yeah, no, you were getting your reservations in when we were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Look at me, exciting stuff.
Liv is just unstoppable. Liv is like, I'm going to do all the things all the time. And I admire the energy.
I try.
It is the great thing about being based in Brighton, is the fact that there are a lot of escape rooms, because stag and hen do's. Brighton is like the home of the stag and the hen do in the UK.
Like
right by
London,
London,
less awful Blackpool, you know? Like it's like a staycation destination.
So the escape rooms are like, people want to do this sort of thing before they get married.
But that is what we've been up to this week. Let's move on to the next section of our podcast. Which is where we kind of hand over to Meehan in this case, because it's all about some of the top news stories that have been hitting the website. And as ever, just in case you've not watched the podcast in a while, we've really truncated this section just to hit here's the big ones, the big, interesting, hard-hitting stories, ones that are funny, ones that we think people are going to be interested in, and then just like a sort of like rundown of the other stuff that you can read on the website right now. So Meehan, tell us about the Gloomhaven Digital Edition final release date.
Woo!
Well, Wills, I'm in the chopper. Flying over Gloomhaven.
I'm in the chopper. How's Gloomhaven looking this time of year?
Gloomy, I assume?
Pretty dark. Yeah, gloomy. It's, it's pretty gloomy down here. I'm being shot at. An archer.
Air to space... ground to air missiles, rather, not air to space.
Space.
Orbital strike.
Meehan's in space.
I have been to space.
Well, we've established that the chopper can take off on Mars, right? So
yeah, we got a little email about it. Talking about emails, I will say, please put your questions for us in the chat.
Yes.
Today.
We'll be doing that after our weekly.
We would like to answer them. So if you have any questions at all, we will answer them if you put them in the chat.
You can also reach us via Meehan.
Well, podcast, I believe. I think it's podcast at Dicebreaker.com.
Every single time, she never does it.
Look, I don't do it. Oh, email.
I genuinely, I was like, early. You want Meehan to list off the name of the email address? Is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, 2 against 1.
Yeah, I don't do the emails on command, Wills.
Yeah.
It just comes to me. It's just a natural urge. Okay, yes. Gloomhaven, chopper, Gloomhaven. Right. The digital edition of Gloomhaven. So that's the video game.
Yes. Which you played on the channel, by the way.
Yeah, which you've played on the channel. It's been in early access for a while, since about 2019 summerish. And now it's finally being released in its entirety on the Steam store on PC. And that will include the full board game campaign mode, which is the thing that most people like from Gloomhaven.
It's Gloomhaven.
Yeah, it's finally there. Obviously, before you could only really play like specific missions on maps or things like that. Whereas now you can play the complete campaign where like you make choices and they have consequences later and all that shebang. So the game is being completely released on October the 20th. Obviously you can get it now. It's still technically in early access. But yeah, it feels like a lot of people have been waiting for this because I've not played it myself, But it seems to be technically a good adaptation. I mean, Gloomhaven feels like it's fit for a video game kind of adaptation.
I think it's a really good adaptation. Like obviously, like we've not played the actual board game campaign in the video game. I don't know. Is it like a 1-to-1 mapping of it? I'm not sure. I don't know if you know that, but I'm not sure if it's like if they're making their own or if they're adapting it away. But
that's something that I worried about. I didn't want to like play this video game and not be able to play the board game. Or something.
But there's also just like I think it as a video game adaptation, it's one of the most polished that I've seen. I think like there's a few that have gone down that route. Like for example, another thing that we played on the channel. Mother's Embrace, which isn't great.
I mean, technically, Mother's Embrace is an original video game based in the same universe as Arkham Horror.
But it's essentially like Arkham Horror, the card game, but a video game. Like it's it's not. It's not great. It's what I'm saying.
I thought you were going to say Blood Rage because
Blood Rage is also.
We also played that.
There's a few on the channel that we've played.
And we were like, this isn't great. Just technically speaking. But you can look forward to that landing on the 20th. There's a new trailer to go along with it. So if you wanted to play Gloomhaven on PC, maybe with your friends online.
That sounded so angry with your friends.
Do it. Friends. Those friends you have. Then you can do that from October 20th. It's great.
Nice.
Now we're going to fly the chopper away from Gloomhaven. Yeah, bye Gloomhaven.
Bye Gloomhaven.
Bye beer.
Yeah. It's like Gloomhaven. Is that what it sounds like?
Bye Meehan.
It's the collective consciousness of Gloomhaven.
Yeah. And we're going to fly into LA.
Hold on.
20. I believe. Wait, hang on. I'm confused out.
Wheels, what are you doing? Will's doing something shifty.
Laughing because I had a breakdown. No, we're flying.
I was doing a helicopter sound effect.
Oh, you're doing helicopter sounds.
Yeah.
I thought you were giggling.
No, it wasn't coming through. Yes, carry on.
It worked on stream, I think.
Okay. We're flying to LA 2032. Talk about the new Blade Runner RPG that's going to come out, everyone. There's a Blade Runner tabletop role-playing game.
Oh.
What is that face for?
Feel like we've kind of been serviced in that market, you know what I mean?
Well, Will's doesn't share the same enthusiasm as myself, but
I love Blade Runner. It's kind of like, when they released a Dishonored RPG and everyone just went, "Oh, you mean Blades in the Dark?"
No.
Yeah, I mean, cyberpunk as a genre in tabletop RPGs has been served incredibly well. For example, by like Cyberpunk Red or Shadowrun, although Shadowrun's a bit different. But so there is an official Blade Runner tabletop role-playing game coming from the publishers that did the Alien RPG, which is very good. So that's kind of giving me hope because Free League publishing seems to be very good at sort of adapting existing worlds into RPGs that kind of work mechanically speaking as well as thematically speaking. So it's going to be set sort of between the original film, one of the greatest films ever made, objectively, and the sequel, Blade Runner 2049, which is even better. It's very good.
If you cut out all the bits of Jared Leto in
it. So 2037 is going to be set in. So
it's coming up, lads. So
it's coming up. So essentially, what has happened is the main bad guy, spoiler alert, I guess, from Blade Runner 2049 has set up his big corporation, the Wallace Corporation, and now a new type of very advanced replicant, which are the androids that are kind of in the Blade Runner world, have been created, and now replicants are once again legal. So that means that players can play as both humans or replicants.
It'd be a skin job.
Yeah, that's
terrible.
A mean word for it, but and you can be like openly a replicant or pretend to be a human, I guess. Although obviously technology might have moved forward, so it's harder to do that. But you'll be playing as like Blade Runners, so as the cops in the series that.
Right, that's what Blade Runners are. I've never seen it, so.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Blade Runner in the original film is someone who hunts down rogue replicants.
Replicants, yeah. So you'll be working in that kind of particular part of the LAPD, and the whole thing is like, oh, this world is so dark, and I'm doing such bad things to people that may or may not deserve it. How do I find light amongst this darkness? You might ask. When playing the Blade Runner RPG.
How do you, Meehan?
I don't know.
What role do I take to find light?
Just think about the Rutger Hauer, who plays Roy Batty. He's great.
It cracks me up that his name is Roy Batty.
Roy Batty, yeah.
Growing up in Luton, that has a very different.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's got to be rough, yeah.
The game is coming in sometime in 2022. So it's not an exact month yet. But there's some nice artwork. I like the front cover. It's very evocative of the original film. And there's some nice artwork you can find in the article on the website. And there's also a trailer you can watch if you wish. But I'm excited because Blade Runner is one of my favorite films. It's very good. Obviously, like we said, lots of cyberpunk role-playing games out there that you can enjoy. But I have faith in Free League. I feel like they've already proven that they can make these kind of film adaptation, RPGs good, and respect kind of the original source material and like embrace it.
I was quietly impressed by
the Alien RPG, yeah, and it's using the same kind of system as the Alien RPG, but obviously, hopefully, they're modifying it to kind of make it fit a bit better with Blade Runner. And
my only thing with this is like I don't want it to just be another I don't want people to dungeon crawl Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, the things that I love most about the Blade Runner series are the world building is great, but in a kind of like very visual sense. So obviously, how are they going to translate that in a source book? Or how are they going to help GMs kind of translate that? But also, those kind of questions that it asks, where it's like, hey, what does it mean to be human? Do you need to be physically a human, or is it about the kind of things that you experience? I think Blade Runner 2049 does a better job with discussing those questions, and in some ways that you could argue that makes it a better film. I get why people think it's better. It's still really good. That film gets me every time. It's wonderful. But also, like, the first one is just so good at atmosphere and
Orangafo has a poignant question for you here, Meehan.
Hello, yes.
Which of the 200 edits is the greatest film?
Clearly, it's stuff. I think, to me, there is obviously the final cut, which is good. I think the director's cut is perfectly like serviceable. Like, essentially, the director's cut is the one that fixed a lot of the really awful problems with the theatrical one. Removing Harrison Ford's tired commentary in the film.
They said I had to go drive a car, so I did. That's why in this scene I'm driving a car.
He's so bored and tired and drunk. He just can't be bothered with it. The director's cut is essentially all the final cut did was just add, I think, some of this minor scenes that were cut from the director's one to kind of make it a little bit shorter. And I think the final cut also improved some of the CGI. There is one cut in the theatrical right at the end where the background is just nothing like the one that was there before. The dove just flies into like a completely different background. Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm actually going to see Blade Runner this weekend.
You are
playing, yeah.
I've seen you organising it in the Brighton people WhatsApp group.
Yeah, look, if I mean this in every sense of the word, if Blade Runner is playing, I will watch it. I don't care like what the situation is, where it is. Like, I will watch Blade Runner.
All right, well there you go.
Not the theatrical.
The legend does say that if you play Blade Runner in your house, Alex Meehan will be there somewhere.
It's like Bloody Mary through the window, through the mirror.
You just turn around and you see my unblinking eyes just like staring.
Your hot breath on the window.
On the nape of your neck. No.
Just like hands up against the window, face smashed up against it. Just watching Roy Batty doing his thing.
Just like you're watching the film completely unawares of Meehan's presence, and then you just go, "You see that unicorn? That's the one he had in his dreams." And you're like, "Oh God, what the?" Right, well there you go. That's the
news, everyone. The other great articles you can find on Dicebreaker.com this week include. I wrote a lovely little opinion piece about how an Arkham Horror Legacy game would be really good. So you can read that. That actually went out today. I also did a preview of the top 10 board games to look for at Essen Spiel, which we're going to this year.
Yeah, we're going to
next
that
month.
Yeah. I'm not.
So if you're... No. Yeah, Wilson's going, but who cares?
I'm not.
So
if you want to check out what's going to be there, then you can look at that lovely list. Other things include a feature from Jason Coles about the new Magic the Gathering set in Innistrad, which looks fun. There's also a news piece that our lovely Chase, our news writer, did about the Paizo president doing a statement because he's bad, and Paizo have
that
been,
was really tactfully put. Thanks, man.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, Paizo have been basically found out to be doing some bad stuff. Their employees, they have been like dealing with not nice things and calling out not nice things and being fired. Apparently for that, but you can read the actual article on the website. I recommend doing that, not relying on my stupid summary of it. So go on the website. There's loads of really good stuff, news, features, whatever. There you go. Shall we move on, Wills?
Yeah, I was distracted as well by.
Yeah, the chopper is blown up.
It's blown up.
Quick!
Blade Runner's playing over there.
No, you need to worry about your blades on this helicopter. Yeah.
Oh, the blades are running away.
Quick! Veer into the what appears to be some kind of weekly segment, Meehan, in the distance.
Whoa!
Hello, it's the weekly segment.
Wait.
This week, I don't know how long this one's going to take. But we saw the news about the Mario casting, as we briefly spoke about this morning, and the abomination that is Chris Pratt taking Danny DeVito's deserved role as Mario.
It's a crime. It's a crime. I mean, this segment is very specifically linked to a news piece we actually did on the website.
Yeah, I was just about to throw over.
Yeah, go on, Wills. What's going on?
Not only has there been talk of the Mario movie, but also what sparked our inspiration is part of the D&D celebration, Meehan. There you go. There's the segue.
Yeah, that's the segue. It's happening this weekend. The D&D celebration. You can watch it online. And one of the things that's going to happen at the D&D celebration is apparently a D&D musical.
Mm-hmm.
The first official D&D musical, I guess, where unfortunately they didn't provide that many details on specifically what they're doing.
I'm glad. I will be crawling under a rock and waiting until it's all past. I can't think of anything I'd least like to watch. But
well, Cookie Cat 94 says it starts in under 40 minutes, apparently. So
whoa! Oh my god! Well, here's our big predictions, everyone.
Wait, what? It's happening today? Well, there you go.
So.
Well, how exciting!
Bang on.
Well, before you go to watch that,
no, I mean we knew that.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's why we're doing this segment.
And
oh god, yeah. Main event, 24th of September. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to have the guy from Rent in it. Rent is not a good musical. There, I said
wow.
it. Yeah,
there
I
aren't
said
many
it.
good musicals.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? Liv and I will fight you to the death. But what are we going to do, Wills?
Yes, so we are in preparation for the D&D musical that will be airing as part of the D&D celebration. We've already decided that the casting and plot that they've picked it's not up to standard. So
it's not good enough.
We're going to tell you how it should have been cast / written. And I think that the idea that we've gone for with this one, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, we did think this up this morning. We're going to each take one act of the 3-act structure, the classic storytelling structure. We'll be randomly assigning them. And then we're just going to see what we can think up and just see if it's better. So once you finish watching this, I'm going to grab a D6 so that we can randomize. Nice. Once you finish watching this, I want you to go watch the D&D Celebration musical, as long as it's free. I wouldn't pay for it.
I think it's free.
Yeah, and then just tell us if you thought you would have rather watched ours, and then that's it. That's all we need to know.
And then we'll do it.
And then we'll do it, and then we'll live.
Do the musical.
It's going to be. I'm already guessing it's going to be quite tricky to get the cast that we decide on.
Yeah, so we'll be the cast as the roles. That's the thing.
Oh, we'll be
play the actors
one of those
as
double.
Those roles.
Yeah, okay,
cool.
yeah, like Garth Marenghi.
Yeah, like Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Exactly like that.
All right, Meehan, you are numbers 1 through 2. Liv, you are numbers 3 through 4. Sorry, and I'm 5 through 6.
Okay.
So this is Act 1.
Okay.
Is going to Meehan. I've rolled a 1, which
nice.
I don't know if that's prophetic or not. But
yeah.
A bad omen.
Oh dear. Okay.
So Meehan, it's Act 1 of the D&D Celebration D&D First Ever Live Musical.
Yeah.
How does it start?
Okay. Well, as a purveyor of musicals, as a fan, I have a few ideas. Okay, right. So I'm imagining it starts off in a classroom. Right?
Right.
Okay.
We wanna appeal to the young people.
Of course.
As well as the classic D&D players, we
don't want to appeal to them.
And where do young people go? They go to school, right?
They do go to school.
They do, and also there are popular school-based musicals.
Yeah, loads
that we want to go on, like School of Rock.
Billy Elliot,
the one.
High School Musical.
Jamie, what's the Jamie one?
Honestly, it's quite funny that High School Musical wasn't the first one that we thought of.
No, a little bit.
I know. School of Rock with Jack Black.
Is School of Rock a musical, or is it a film about music?
Oh, maybe.
No, it was
there is a musical.
It was the musical before the film.
Yeah, by Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I apologise.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it was because Andrew Lloyd Webber is cool. He wants to be cool with the kids.
Is a testicle bag.
Yeah, he is a testicle bag of a man. But he did write.
We don't like Andrew
Lloyd Webber. We can all thank him for that.
Making an official Dicebreaker statement.
He is a Tory.
He is a massive Tory.
Smell on him, but he did write some good music. Right. Okay. So it starts off in a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a class happening. Maybe the open. Okay. So we're casting.
Okay, but here's another thing. Now I have a question for you immediately, Meehan. Is this set in the D&D universe, or is this about people playing D&D?
It starts off in the modern world.
Okay, got it. Right.
Okay, right.
Because
I want a kind of
teaching the class.
I want a Jumanji situation.
Got it. Yeah,
okay.
I thought as much. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So the teacher is played by, oh my goodness,
Jack Black.
oh my god, Jack Black.
Sure, why not? Why not?
Jack Black is the teacher.
I think people will appreciate the sort of subtle reference.
Yeah, it's the School of Rock, exactly. So Jack Black is the teacher. He's just doing his thing.
But the
School of Clicky Clacky Math Rocks.
But the Rock is the actual D&D monster or Rock.
Oh, I was really hoping you'd say the Rock is in the musical, because I agree.
He can be in there, yeah, sure.
That could be the joke. What if the Rock was the headmaster? And it's the School of the Rock.
Right, making School of a completely different film here, but I'm into it.
Well, this is a musical, Liv, not a film. Let's get the format correct here.
Now we know why you were so confused.
We learnt that from Cats. You can't. Some musicals you can't turn into film. Please don't do it. I sounded so pretentious there. I apologize. I'm just getting riled up.
I'm affronted, but okay. Thank you for the apology.
Look, Liv, I can't wait to your ideas, but I'm in the director's chair at the moment.
All right, sorry. My B. Proceed.
Right.
Do you want a coffee, Miss Meehan? Do you want a coffee?
Yes, please.
All right.
We'll be in the content mines.
Yeah. No, Jack Black is the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then the opening number is like the kids are in the classroom.
Can I just ask, how long have we been talking about this? Because we've not even started the plot.
No, we haven't.
Keep interrupting me.
This is literally the opening scene.
You keep interrupting me, right? The opening number is like, oh, we're at
Here's
school.
your coffee, Meehan. Here you go. Yeah.
And it's chaos, and all the kids are like messing about, and then there's different kinds of kids, like the cool ones and the nerds, and I don't know what schools are like these days. But goths. Someone's on their phone. I don't know.
Click. That's the whole click.
And then the one of the kids is like being picked on by the others. Because they're a massive D&D nerd.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
They can't do that.
There's like a bit when they get picked on, but then like the class goes away and Jack Black is like, "Hey kid, I think you're really cool." And then he does like a cartwheel out the door.
What's the song? Is there a song yet?
Song.
What's the song?
The kids singing. The song
they're singing about being at school.
Being at school and being annoying.
How it sucks.
Yeah, how it sucks,
okay,
right?
School sucks.
School sucks.
Track number 1.
Yeah, school sucks.
Track number 2, Jack Black's...
No, Jack Black does a cartwheel out.
Jack Black does a cartwheel is track 2 on the album.
Yeah.
And then the kid who is like left in the room sings a song about how they're like, they wish that they weren't being picked on.
Yeah.
And how they love D&D and they don't know why they have to be picked on. And then like other kids join the other kids in like a harmony situation where they're all like, "Oh, I'm an outsider as well."
But I'm an outsider too.
Yeah.
And
one of the kids
key
sounds
change.
like that. We dubbed the
found
kid
each
over.
other.
Yeah. We dubbed the kid over with that voice.
Yeah.
And then all the kids join up and they're like, "Oh my goodness, we all like D&D. We should play D&D."
And they're like,
really cool.
they're like clicking as they say it.
Yeah.
Hey, if we all like D&D, maybe we should play together. Like this.
Right.
Flopping around.
And then they go off to like one of the kids' houses or something.
Basement.
And basement.
Got to be the basement.
When is it set, Meehan?
What?
That's
when
a
is
good
it
question.
set?
It could be a sort of sex education scenario where it's sort of unclear.
Sure. Oh yeah, nice.
Oh, sex education. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That is the scenario. That also means that. Oh my gosh, what's the actor's name? She plays the guy's mum.
Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, she's in it as well.
Obviously, she's the mum. She's the mum.
Yeah. She's the mum.
Are we only casting people based on whether or not they've played the exact same role in another production?
It fits. Okay, look, we don't want to risk too much. And then
I forgot to ask you a very important question, Meehan.
Yes, hello.
Who's playing the kid?
Right, the kids we're just going to source young, unknown actors.
Oh,
but
so
one of them is played by Danny
DeVito. Okay, so, right, yeah, cool. Okay, good.
But all the other kids are kids.
But Danny DeVito is also
there. But Danny DeVito is a kid in the
And then we make it a running joke, like, were you held back a year? But he never answers.
No. We never address it.
Right.
At any point. He's a kid. Like, if anyone doesn't get that, it's acting. And then they turn up and they're like, oh, we want to play D&D, but we're kind of rubbish at it. And then Jack Black cartwheels back onto the stage
in the basement of the kids.
In the basement of the
kids.
This
is taking a weird turn.
Because he knows Gillian Anderson. He knows.
Got it. Are they bonking?
Maybe. It's implied. There'll be like a silly little adult joke that it's implied. But the kids won't get it.
No.
Like
that's it's like in a Nickelodeon cartoon, you know, there's a couple of adult jokes thrown in for the parents watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson comes down with some snacks and stuff and he's like, "Oh, you're a snack."
Yeah.
She likes that. Yeah.
Sure.
And the kids are like, what does that mean?
But as Joshua Dupree says, Jack Black will be the dungeon master. Like he cartwheels in, he's like, "Hey kids, I'm going to teach you how to play D&D." And then that's the next song is Jack Black teaches them how to play D&D.
You gotta learn your crits from your hits. You gotta learn your goblins from your moblins.
yeah, from your kobolds.
Your kobolds would be better, yeah.
Well, it doesn't mind. So
me.
Cookie Cat 94 says in the basement of the kids track free.
You know what? I want to star in the movie as the kid who's getting bullied because right here.
Liv, you are not being bullied right now.
Can't believe it. It's just my life. I love D&D, and then everyone else on the team, apart from Lolies, is just like meh, and I'm like, if only I could.
And then
dream of D&D.
As Jack Black is teaching them how to play D&D, suddenly the stage goes like,
fog
and
machine.
It changes. Yeah, fog machine, bubbles, lights, all of it. Yeah. And then the scene changes, and they're in the D&D world.
And bam, it's Act 2.
Yeah, bam, it's Act 2.
Okay, Liv.
No,
high or low?
Who's it gonna be? It could be Will.
High or low?
High or low?
Low.
Low. All right, 1, 2, 3 is Liv. It's a 4. So I've got Act 2. Okay.
I will just note that Checkerbeard has said something amazing. They've said the song name, "I'll Make a Monk Out of You," which
is love it.
That's got to be in there.
Love it. Again, all of the elements of this musical have just been ripped from other things.
Yeah. Bearing in mind, Wales, before you do this, that you need to have some kind of conflict in the classic Act 2 fashion.
No, I know. Yeah, we're gonna have the hero's lowest moment, all that stuff.
Great.
Yeah, right. Liv, bam, we're in the fantasy world. Wait, who's doing Act 2?
It's me now. So we're in Act 2.
It's Wales, right?
Yeah,
we're in the fantasy world.
We're in the fantasy world. We're in Faerun. Is that what it's called?
I will say, just a request. Can we have all the kids become like their adult D&D selves, except for Danny DeVito? Who's still Danny DeVito.
I'm way ahead of you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, right.
Okay,
Thank God.
So we turn up, we're in the D&D world, and it's the kids' voices coming out of fully grown adult actors.
I love that. Characters. That's excellent.
So presumably we'll have some kind of mic system, because this is a live stage show.
Can I suggest just quickly, whenever they sing, they suddenly become adults?
Yeah, no, the adults sing the songs, but the kids do all the dialogue. So,
right.
So we've got, there's the classic party of 4. We've got...
I'm laughing already. Danny DeVito.
We've got Ryan Reynolds playing as the bard.
Oh, of course.
Cool. Okay.
And he's got the big floppy pink hat, and he's got a guitar, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so goofy."
Cookie Cat 94 says Danny DeVito starts at level 20, but he doesn't know it.
We've got the classic fighter character who is played by Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Stephanie Beatrice.
Stephanie Beatrice, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent pick.
And she's she's cutting apples with knives, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She's real tough and badass. But then the voice that comes out of her is
a
like...
kid's voice, yeah. Yeah.
We've also got like a mage, like a wizard character, who's played by Steve Buscemi.
Oh my god, yes, Steve Buscemi.
He's got a big, long, wispy beard. He's inexplicably much older than everyone else, and he's like, "Well, oops, I didn't mean to set them on fire, you guys." And then lastly, we've got Danny
Idris
DeVito.
Elba. Idris Elba's involved.
Idris Elba's the main villain.
Knuckles.
Idris Elba plays Knuckles. Danny DeVito is in berserker gear, so it's just his stomach hanging out with like one pauldron and a big axe and like a loincloth.
Can he wear a chainmail bikini, please?
Sure. At the very least, the bottom of a chainmail bikini.
No, I want the top as well.
Well, it's not your act, Meehan. So they arrive, they learn the ropes. There's multiple songs about the world and the lore, and like they get into scraps. But then we find out that with the voice of Jack Black, Idris Elba turns up. In fact, every single person who isn't one of the main characters is voiced by Jack Black.
Yes. That's so good.
Idris Elba turns up, and he's this big evil villain. Like he's got like a big black cloak, and he's got like a skull crown.
Again, you can take or leave the suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the idea of Idris Elba's character being like, okay, so obviously some people have turned up for like the D&D. Other people, might have turned up because Idris Elba, let's just say it, he's a sex icon.
Mm-hmm.
You can't deny that.
Is this you? Is this why you've turned up?
Yeah. Can we have him be inexplicably like sexy? Or is that, but not like overly,
I mean, that was
he's wearing
in an evil way. In an evil way.
Yeah, he's wearing like some kind of crotchless chaps vibe with like a banana hammock underneath.
We need to make this viewable
for the kids.
Younger audience.
You mean without the buttocks wheels, not crotchless?
No, crotchless. So there's the crotch area of the pants is completely open. You can see the flesh. Apart from the cock, which is then sheathed inside of a banana hammock. I'm going to go shut the door. Or maybe Zoe should shut the door if she's going to be streaming now as well. But then, so big evil villain turns up. And that's when we get a Jack Black heel turn. Because it turns out Jack Black has been stealing kids for his magical D&D world via the evil villain of Idris Elba. And the kids are like, oh no! How do we get out?
The Matrix.
Yeah, it's like the Matrix.
It's like, you die in it. If you die in it, you die.
If you die in D&D, you die in real life.
And Jack Black just wants to murder the children. Is that what?
No, he wants to steal them to use as NPCs. So you find out that all the characters they've been introduced to were like, yes, we were once players too, but now we live here. It's fine, I guess. So that's why his characters are so diverse and fantastic. But then, we see the kids are like, no, this won't happen to us. And because Danny DeVito has inexplicably been rolled up as a level 20 character, he's way powerful.
He realizes his power.
He realizes his power. He brings out his axe. He goes full berserker mode, and he chops off Idris Elba's left arm.
No.
Which makes him even sexier somehow.
He gets like a golden arm.
Yeah, and then
I mean, this sounds like Act 3 territory, Will.
Not yet, Liv. Not yet. Don't worry. But at that point, realizing the power of Danny DeVito, Jack Black as the DM starts to cheat. And not like the good kind of cheat where you make everyone feel good, but the bad kind of cheat.
Is he fudging some rolls?
He's fudging some rolls. He's adding in some characters that are way too high level for this module. And then he steals away Danny DeVito. He locks him up. And puts him in a cage in his big evil lair. And now the kids are alone in this big horrible world.
Without Danny
DeVito and his guidance and his power. And also with all these horrible cheated monsters that shouldn't be in here. And we finally get to the lowest moment. And there's a sad song lit by moonlight. And it's It's the party and Danny DeVito singing across the night sky to each other.
Yeah,
where have you gone? Come back.
Where like half of the stage is like a cell and half of the stage is like where.
Yeah, can I just suggest? Can we please put Danny DeVito in a little cell, like in a cage, but hanging from the ceiling?
Yeah, with his legs sticking out, and he's wearing that like Princess Leia slave bikini. And that we hit the lowest moment, and we go over to Act 3. Liv.
Oh, Liv.
All right, how are we gonna wrap this all together? Well,
have fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. So basically, the kids now realize, well, you know, they've been sailing along with the help of Danny DeVito, but now they have to get good. So they have to travel across the land to various different like masters of their class.
Montage.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a montage, right? So we have to go to like say somebody. Oh yeah, so we've got fighter, we've got bard, we've got what else have we got? Who's Steve Buscemi? A wizard.
Oh, the wizard.
Wizard.
So who are going to be the masters of their craft?
That's the question.
Well, who plays them? That's the main question.
Yes, exactly. So I like who's the most bardy person you can think of, you know?
Who's
is my question.
Charismatic.
Incredibly charismatic.
Well.
I know.
Jack Black.
Okay, no, it is Jack Black, but it's like I'm his evil. No, I'm his
good brother.
Twin.
Yeah,
I'm the good one.
Oh, it's good Jack Black. It's good Jack Black, and you're like, I imprisoned.
You know how he's got like,
me here.
You know how he's got the grey stripes in his beard. They're like reversed when he's the good guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. He's called Jack. Oh no, it's Jack
White. It's Jack White for the white stripes.
If we could get Jack White,
that makes so much sense because he's a bard.
Yeah, Jack White is a bard.
Yeah, Jack White is the antithesis. Yeah.
He'll sing like he'll sing a completely out of place white stripe style song.
Yeah, he'll literally. That's how we get a little brand deal going. We just put in one of their new songs. It's not really got anything to do with the musical, but we'll make a few dollars here and there.
Exactly, that's what most people are coming for.
That's the bard. Who else lives?
The bard, the wizard, Ian McKellen.
Yeah,
McKellen.
He's Gandalf.
It's Gandalf.
And he was in Cats, so he's got musical chops.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
I love how you think being in Cats means you have musical chops, man. I'm not sure you've watched that.
He went meow, 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 and I think that means that he can do it.
Yeah.
Liv.
No, that's... Yeah, great. So
who's the fighter?
The fighter is going to be it's The Rock from the
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It's The Rock because he was in the start of it because it's the School of Rock.
Oh, but they're like, hold on, does that mean? And then you flip to the real world and he's got his character sheet.
Exactly.
And he's bursting out of his shirt.
Rippling.
Oh, yeah. Gillian Anderson's like, oh, I didn't invite you. And he's like, oh, don't worry.
I invited myself.
I invited myself.
And then he pops his pecs a bit. And
But then Kevin Hart turns up and his character immediately dies.
Yeah.
Great. So he teaches all of them the power of friendship and banding together to take down a greater evil and be bigger than the sum of their parts. And then finally there's a final showdown where it's the classic ending where like people we've met along the way are just like, hey, I'm here to help. Oh my God. I don't know who else is there. Who are some of the NPCs we've met along the way? I don't know.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
I'm something of an artificer myself.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe is like a goblin man because that's what he's really good at playing.
Yeah.
Tom Holland is a Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Tom Holland plays Loish or whatever her name is. Lolf.
Yes.
Lolf.
Lol. Yes, Lol.
The Spider Queen.
Oh, yeah, the Spider Queen.
Yeah, but he's dressed kind of like...
Drow one.
Yeah, kind of like how he was dressed for the lip sync he did for Umbrella.
Nice. Exactly. Hell yeah. Yes, but he's just got a bunch of legs. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, we can build that from paper mache.
Yeah.
It will be totally reliable and he definitely won't get hurt.
And then all of a sudden, Zendaya is Michi.
Yeah, she is Michi.
broke wheels.
Dance me cheap.
Yeah.
So we you know, obviously they were introduced at some point. We'll worry about that.
The friends we've met along the way. And then
that's the name of the song when they all turn up.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And then
brackets and diaries.
Yeah.
Sung by Gabriel Gundecker.
Yeah. And then Idris Elba is like, no, you can't have him. And then he transforms into his final form, which is like
James Corden.
Yeah.
That's truly horrific. I don't want to give that man any work.
Yeah, but it's not actually James Corden. It's a CGI adaptation of him that we sneakily got the rights to his visage, so that we can just have a bit of him exploding, but we don't actually have to pay him any money.
Yeah.
Can it be the exact bit from that clip of him frosting in the mouse uniform?
Yeah, but he implodes.
He implodes.
And then Ryan Reynolds has the final blow, and he's like, "Let's get loud." And then like
it would be like, oh, it's time for you to get quiet.
No, the joke throughout the whole thing is that whenever Ryan Reynolds has damage it's like a 1d4 or something. But then they get Idris Elba down to like the lowest bit of health, but they're all exhausted. But then he does his 1d4 and it kills him.
Aww, lovely. It's a vicious mockery.
I do love the idea of, because Idris Elba isn't the big bad, it's Jack Black.
Yeah.
But like,
Idris
Elba could have like a redemption.
No, because Idris Elba is a fictional character.
I can't keep track anymore.
But Jack Black, I think, should have a redemption at the end when he learns the errors of his ways.
Okay, fine.
He doesn't have to.
This is your app. What happens?
Okay, I want a redemption arc for Idris Elba. I want him to become. Oh no, wait. Okay, so Idris
Elba. He can fight with
Idris
them.
Elba was one of the kids who got brought in by Jack Black.
He's grown up and he's spent his whole life there.
I know. So then they kill. Initially they take him down, and he's like, wait, and then his cloak. He emerges from the cloak. He's just a kid.
It's just a kid.
It's just a kid. It's like
it's a little kid.
It's just a kid. And then he joins them, and then they defeat Jack Black, who's the true evil, and rescue Danny DeVito, and Steve Buscemi dips Danny DeVito, and they have a first true love's kiss, and it's great.
Whoa!
Even though they're teacher students.
Oh no! Wait, no, they're not. Right? No.
Danny DeVito is a kid.
Buscemi.
Oh, and Steve Buscemi. I thought you said Jack Black for some reason.
No. Anyway, that's D&D.
And and then we roll credits / bow.
Curtain call.
Animation, Tonys everywhere.
But also right at the end of the musical, when they need that final thing to stop Jack Black, they're like, "Don't worry about it. We'll just go on." Insert D&D shop link here and buy all of the newest module books in which there's a new rule in which we can win, and then they have a big link to the shop that you can
and that's how we get the endorsement
and and there it is.
D&D Beyond here.
I will say Meehan and Liv has put Danny DeVito is Dorgle.
And Zendaya Danny DeVito is Dorgle.
That's beautiful. That'd be his character name in the thing, Dorgle.
Yeah, Dorgle the Barborical.
Yeah, it was adorable.
Well, there it is.
That's it. So if you think that we did it better, let us know.
I'm not sure how much time we've got to answer questions for. Cottaging Womble asks, "What's your perfect Sunday?"
Oh,
Danny DeVito.
Drinks with Danny DeVito. Perfect Sunday is sleep in, chores done.
In my pants.
In my pants.
Reclined, thriving, moisturised in my lane.
Yeah, watching a classic film. Yeah. With some snacks.
There it is. Liv?
Yeah. It's Lion as well. Chores done. Love that. Playing a wonderful game of D&D or whatever RPG around the table with my friends. If that ever happens again. We're all in our hands. And we've got some nice snacks, and then going to bed at a reasonable hour and watching some nice shows.
There it is. Thanks very much for Costing Womble for that question.
Yeah, Charlie Etheridge Nunn earlier did ask, do they have to sing in initiative order?
Yeah.
Yes. It's rolled live on the stage.
Yeah,
so.
I like the idea that the initiative order is the line you have to sing, because then people are like, oh, I do not have the range for that, but that's just what I've rolled.
Yep. There's also a big the big D20 like on the screen behind them, and it rolls live. So yeah.
Last question. Andy asks, I'm just about to go for a holiday in Sherwood Forest, and we're going to play Sheriff of Nottingham.
Ooh.
While we're there, what's the best location you can think of to play your favourite games? Colt Express on the train?
Oh, Colt Express on the train in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Ye olde West.
Or we could go to one of them like old steam train places in the UK where they have like really old timey trains. There's one up near us in a place called Cuckfield.
Yes, Cuckfield. Whenever we drive past Cuckfield, I do giggle. I have to say, it's classic.
I think I saw a bus going there the other day, and I was like, I'd like to play Camp Grizzly in a cabin, in a cozy cabin.
Spoopy.
And be terrified.
Yeah.
Spooks, yeah.
I
love spooks.
Do you know what? We're planning to do this, but we're going to a big haunted mansion to play 10 Candles.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and my mates.
That's too scary.
Oh, it's very scary. I say haunted mansion. It's the house that Zoe grew up in, but but it looks like a haunted mansion.
Very haunted though.
Yeah, it does look like a haunted mansion, and it's got big tables and candelabras, I think. So we're all good.
Yeah, I will play camel up on a camel.
Sure.
And there it is. Thanks very much, everyone, for your questions. If you would like to get a question to us when Matt is back, thank you, Ian. When Matt is back, I'm sure the time will be slightly more managed on this podcast, but we're already over. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching.
Wales, how could you avoid this question of how many sweets do you think you could fit into a life-size Danny DeVito pinata?
I don't think I actually read it. I just sort of copied and pasted it. I reckon you can fit quite a few sweets in a life-size Danny DeVito pinata.
We'll have that at the end of the musical.
Didn't it say lowly slash sweets?
No, it says lollies, but we get confused because of lollies. Lollies is one L. But anyway, send us an email at podcast@dicebreaker.com.
Do it.
Subscribe to us here on youtube.com/Dicebreaker. Read dicebreaker.com. All that good stuff. Join up to Dicebreaker Plus for exclusive behind-the-scenes stuff, badges, and the merch as well. Like be a lady t-shirt here.
Like this and various
and this one. I forgot I was wearing it. Yeah, look, we've got the brand new hoodie. Beautiful stuff. Check out the link in the description below for that. But thank you very much for watching. This has been the Dicebreaker podcast. I hope you have enjoyed your stay, and I hope you have at least had some semblance of what the hell we're talking about. We will see you next week, Friday, for another live recording. But until then, keep an eye on the channel tomorrow, where we got that Dust Spiders Let's Play that we're talking about, and of course we've got the escape room coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Woo!
But Meehan, is there anything interesting that you're excited to release on the website that you want to talk about at all? No? All right then. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. We'll see you on the next podcast or the next video. But until then, have a lovely day. Goodbye.